Genshin 7.1 could be one of the biggest updates we've had in a very long time. And it's not just because we're getting 2 new characters. We have the 6th anniversary, a huge amount of free rewards, a possible standard 5-star selector, new Snezhnaya characters, Vesna and Vodyanitsa, and now the current banner information is pointing towards Skirk and Escoffier returning. But there's one more thing that could completely change how you should spend your Primogems. There are rumors about a free older limited 5-star character, with some versions of the rumor even mentioning their signature weapon. And if that turns out to be real, your entire 7.1 pull plan could change. So today, I want to go through everything that actually matters. How many pulls we could get, what the current banners look like, whether Vesna or Vodyanitsa is worth pulling, what the Skirk and Escoffier rerun means, the crazy free 5-star rumor, and most importantly, how I think you should save your Primogems for version 7.1. Just remember that some of this information is still based on leaks and beta information, so things can change before the official announcement. Let's get into it. Version 7.1 is expected to arrive around September 23rd, following Genshin's usual update schedule. And the timing is important because the 6th anniversary falls during this version. That immediately makes 7.1 different from a normal update. We're not just getting 2 characters and some events. We're potentially getting a huge collection of rewards on top of the normal Primogem income. And personally, I think this is the first thing players should understand. 7.1 isn't necessarily a patch where you should spend everything. It might actually be one of the best patches to save. Because if the current information is even partially accurate, you'll have a lot of resources coming in, while also having some very tempting characters to pull. And that's where things get dangerous. Let's talk about the numbers. Based on our current calculations, version 7.1 could give a free-to-play player around 11,065 Primogems plus 22 intertwined fates. That's roughly 91 wishes when everything is converted into pulls. For Welkin players, the estimate goes up to around 114 pulls. And with Welkin plus Battle Pass, we're looking at roughly 123 pulls. These are estimates, not guaranteed final numbers, so don't treat them as exact. But here's the important part. The anniversary rewards are already included in these calculations. So don't look at 91 pulls and then add another 20 wishes on top. That's double counting. And honestly, around 90 pulls is already a huge amount of resources for one update. But now comes the difficult question. What are you actually going to spend them on? Because 7.1 could give you a lot of reasons to pull. Let's start with Vesna. Vesna is one of the 2 new 5-star characters coming with version 7.1. She's an Anemo DPS built around the new Snezhnaya reaction system, particularly Stellar Swirl. And this is where my opinion gets interesting. I think Vesna is probably going to be one of those characters that looks extremely exciting if you already want to invest into the new Snezhnaya mechanics. She's not simply another Anemo character. Her kit is designed around this newer reaction-focused gameplay, meaning her value could increase as more characters supporting that system are released. And personally, I like that direction. I'd much rather see a new character actually introduce a new playstyle than just release another DPS who does bigger numbers than the previous one. But there's also a downside. Vesna appears to be much more specialized. So if you don't care about the new reaction system, I wouldn't pull her simply because she's new. For me, Vesna is a pull if you love the playstyle character. Not necessarily a everyone needs her character. Then we have Vodyanitsa. And honestly, this is the character I'm personally more interested in from an account value perspective. Vodyanitsa is a Hydro support who brings healing, team utility, and additional buffs/debuffs. And that's important because supports can remain useful for much longer than a DPS. A DPS might eventually be replaced by a stronger damage dealer, but a good support can keep finding teams for years. Current information also suggests that Vodyanitsa has useful interactions with Hydro and Cryo teams, which makes her especially interesting with some existing characters. And this brings us to something important: Skirk. The current information is pointing towards Skirk and Escoffier returning in version 7.1. Again, this isn't officially confirmed yet, But this is currently one of the stronger banner rumors being discussed, and both characters are particularly relevant because of the current cryo-focused content and team possibilities. And if this actually happens, 7.1 becomes an absolutely brutal patch for Primogem management, because now you potentially have Vesna, Vodyanitsa, Skirk, Escoffier, 4 limited 5-star characters competing for your wishes. And unless you're spending a ridiculous amount of money, you're probably not getting all 4. So you have to prioritize. Personally, if I already had Skirk and Escoffier, I wouldn't automatically pull Vodyanitsa just because she's new. I'd first look at what she actually adds to my account. And if I didn't have Skirk, then I'd seriously consider whether saving for her rerun gives me more value than immediately jumping onto one of the new Snezhnaya characters. That's why I think the banner order is going to be extremely important. Now, let's talk about the anniversary. The current information points toward the usual anniversary-style rewards, including 1,600 Primogems and 10 intertwined fates. There are also reports of a standard 5-star character selector. And honestly, I think the standard selector is one of the most useful rewards for newer accounts. If you've been playing for years, maybe you've already collected most of the standard characters you want. But for newer players, this could be extremely valuable. You could finally pick the standard character you've been missing instead of hoping to randomly get them from a 50/50th loss or the standard banner. And I actually like this kind of reward, because it doesn't force you to pull. You simply get more control over your account. But now we get to the really crazy part. There have been rumors about something much bigger. A possible free older limited 5-star character selector. And some versions of the rumor go even further, claiming that the reward could potentially include their signature weapon as well. If that happens, 7.1 instantly becomes insane. Think about what that would mean. You could potentially get an older limited character that you missed years ago, and potentially even their signature weapon, without spending the Primogems you saved for the new characters. That would completely change how I would approach the entire patch. But I want to be very clear here. I am not treating this as confirmed. There is a massive difference between "there's a rumor about this" and "Hoyoverse officially announced this." So personally, I'm going to assume the free limited 5-star does not exist until it's officially confirmed. If it happens, amazing. I'll be extremely happy. But I don't want you saving hundreds of Primogems because somebody on the internet said, "free limited 5-star confirmed," and then the reward ends up being something completely different. So keep this rumor in the back of your mind, but don't build your entire account around it. And this is probably the most important section of the entire video. How should you actually save for 7.1? My first rule would be, don't spend Primogems just because you have them. If you're currently saving for Vesna, Vodyanitsa, Skirk, Escoffier, or a future Snezhnaya character, don't randomly throw 20 or 30 wishes into a banner just because you're close to pity. That's how savings disappear. Second, decide your priority before 7.1 starts. For example, if your number 1 priority is Skirk, save for Skirk. If you really want Vesna because you love the new reaction gameplay, save for Vesna. If you want a support who could have longer-term account value, keep an eye on Vodyanitsa. And if your biggest priority is actually a future character like the Tsaritsa, then I'd be even more careful, because Snezhnaya is only beginning. We're going to see many more characters after 7.1. And having 90 pulls doesn't mean you have to spend 90 pulls. That's something I personally think a lot of players forget. So what would I do? Personally, I would enter 7.1 with the priority list. First, I'd wait for the official banner announcement. Second, I'd see exactly how Vesna and Vodyanitsa perform after the beta changes. And third, I decide whether the rumored Skirk and Escoffier reruns actually fit my account. I wouldn't pull both Vesna and Vodyanitsa just because they're the new characters. And I definitely wouldn't spend everything before we know what the anniversary actually gives us. If the free limited 5-star selector becomes real, my entire plan changes. If it doesn't, then I still have my saved Primogems ready for the characters I actually want. That's the safest strategy. Save first, decide later, not the other way around. And this is why I think the title isn't just clickbait. Version 7 7.1 could genuinely change how people approach their accounts. You've got 2 new 5 stars, potential Skirk and Escoffier reruns, the 6th anniversary, a huge amount of free resources, a possible standard 5-star selector, a free event weapon, and then the biggest wildcard, the rumored limited 5-star selector and signature weapon. But the bigger picture is Snezhnaya itself. We're still very early into this region. More characters are coming, more reactions are being developed, more teams are going to become viable. So, I don't think the goal should be, how can I spend every Primogem I get in 7.1? I think the better question is, how can I leave 7.1 with the strongest account for the characters I actually want? And personally, that's how I'm going to approach it. So, should you pull in version 7.1? My answer is, it depends on your account. If you love Vesna and want to invest into the new Snezhnaya reaction system, go for her. If Vodianitsa ends up being as useful as current information suggests, she could be a very interesting support to pick up. If you miss Skirk or Escoffier and the current rerun information is correct, 7.1 could be your opportunity. But if none of these characters are your priority, save. Because Snezhnaya is only getting started. And with the amount of Primogems we're potentially getting during 7.1, you don't need to rush. As for the rumored free limited 5-star and signature weapon, I'm keeping my expectations low. If Hoyoverse actually announces it, then we're going to have a completely different conversation. But until then, treat it as exactly what it is. A rumor. So now I want to know, who are you saving for in version 7.1? Vesna? Vodianitsa? Skirk? Escoffier? Or are you skipping everyone and saving for a future Snezhnaya character? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to know exactly how I would spend or save my Primogems once the official 7.1 banners are revealed, make sure you subscribe. Because 7.1 might be the patch where saving matters more than pulling. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.